The wood whirler is in. Let's get busy. Hey guys, welcome. Well, last night, I'm just like most old retired guys. I generally eat my supper in my recliner. So, you know, I've got several TV trays, but I don't like them. So here I am sitting down with my supper, got my plate, my lap, and doing all that kind of stuff. And then the wife, she brings me a big old plate of fresh sliced tomatoes out of her garden. Well, I had no place to put them, you know, so I set them on the arm of the chair, and lo and behold, I ended up knocking them off. So I said, well, I just need a tray for myself. I mean, I don't like them old tin ones, and so I'm just going to make me one. So first off, I want to qualify this. I am not a woodworker. I am a turner. I'm a pretty dang good carpenter, but there's a difference between being a carpenter and a woodworker. So I know you guys are going to be critiquing this, so you just have to bear in mind that's the way it is. So what I'm going to start with is I got a piece of all I could find, a piece of old 1/4 inch plywood I found out there in my shop. Well, actually my tractor shed. And I'm going to cut that out to 12 by 18. Now I found this out here. This is a piece of cedar. You can see, where'd it go? There it is, right there. So I'm going to, you know, put a border with the cedar around it. And then what I'm going to do in the middle, it won't fit in my laser, but I was thinking about maybe, you know, making some, you know, smaller things with the laser, like my logo and the beaver and stuff like that, and put in. Then I'm going to use tabletop epoxy on it, make me a nice finish. So I think the first thing I got to do is figure out how to cut this sapsucker. Well, I didn't realize this first layer of this plywood was so thin. I mean, so I went through it right there, and a little bit right there, but I'm gonna put stuff on it anyway. So let me get on to making the trim. All right, I took and planed that cedar board down and cut me off some 3/4 inch strips, and then I took them over there to my router table, and I guess I routed them. And they, you know, they fit on here like this. So my next step is to take and 45 them. So I made this old router table like 6-7 years ago. It's the first time I've ever used it, and I just dang near forgot how to do it. It's a pretty good little project. You can make your own router table. It really works well. I was surprised, even though it took me a while to figure it out. So you see the routers under there, like that, and you just, you know, set this for whatever you want and clamp it down and go for it. So next I'm going to take it over there to the chop saw and do a little judicious measuring and get my 45s cut, and then we'll glue it down. Still got a very nice piece of cedar left here. I'm sure I will use it for something. I love cedar boards. And a little leftover deal there, but let's get on with it. Come here. There you are. Come see me. Come see me. Silly goose. Oh, hot weather getting you, isn't it? All right, you can go now. Go. Anyway, he come visit me. I got it all framed up now. I'm in the process of making stuff to go in there. I went ahead and sealed it all real good using sawdust and medium CA. Make sure it doesn't leak when I pour my epoxy in it. So in here, hey buddy, what are you doing? Come here, come here, come here. Hey, he's not feeling good today. Getting old, just like everybody. So what I got going here, I got my logo going on a piece of 1/4 inch plywood, and I'm going to cut it out on the jigsaw, and it's going to be glued down right in the middle. Then I'm going to make me a couple little beavers to go here and there. And then sometime tomorrow we will be pouring the epoxy. This takes a little while, but that's the way it is. See you later. Alright, well I pretty much got it together. I went to the laser and, you know, I burned this and I burned this, and then I glued them down with thick CA. I really didn't want to cover too much of just preparing this because that's not where I want my emphasis to be. I really want my emphasis to be more lean toward wood turning because we do a lot of epoxy, or at least I do, and I use tabletop sometimes, and that's what I'm going to be using here. So I sort of wanted to, emphasize that. So I've got this all ready. I've got it all sanded, and I've got my two thingamajiggers, my logos glued down. This one covers a bad spot, and that's just the center. So I'm going to have to pour epoxy a little deeper than this right here. Not go over the edge, but just a little deeper right here. I want to leave a little bit of an edge, to catch crumbs and stuff. So what I've done is I've taken some sealer. You've got to seal your wood first when you put epoxy on it, because if you don't, the bubbles will come, the air will come out of it, and the bubbles will get into your epoxy. So it's got to be sealed. So first I'm going to seal it. I don't know if this is going to be worth a flip or not, but I'm going to try it. This is, you won't hardly even see it, but I'm hoping it'll add just a little bit of a, sort of a tint to it or something. I don't know if it will or not. We'll see. Like I said, I used thick CA to glue these down. You put some CA on the back of your whatever you're gluing it down with, and then you spray a little accelerator where you want it to go, and you set it down, and you best not move it again. It's just soaking in pretty good right here. All right, now before that has a chance to dry, a bit more right in here. I'm gonna go ahead and take a paper towel and wipe it up. Wipe up the excess, because I don't want all that, So I'm just basically gonna do this right here. I got this ready to pour. Okay, the first thing you gotta do is you gotta move it somewhere where it's relatively dust free and the air is not moving. And you got to get it level. I mean, absolutely, you must get it level. You can see I've shimmed up the four corners here. This thing has a slight warp to it. I hope that, once it sits up, it doesn't come back. But I got it level, about as level as I can possibly get it. Right there. You just don't get much better than that. Okay, here's what you got to have other than this. You need one of these, spreader. That's not totally mandatory. You can use other things. But you definitely got to have this or a hot air gun. Now, I do not recommend hot air gun, but a lot of people use them and I've used them. But then the reason is the hot air gun takes air in and blows it out, which means if there's some dust or dirt, it's going to suck it in and blow it right back on top of your work. And it's pretty smart to have some paper towels handy. And basically that's it. Of course, I may or may not put some gloves on, probably will. So I'm going to go mix some tabletop clear epoxy, and I'll be pouring one pour with clear. I'll be busting the bubbles on the clear, and then I'll come back. If I need more clear, I'll pour more clear, and then I'm going to mix up a little bit of red, a little small thingamajigger, and put a border around it. And over here I got my air hose, and I'll be showing you what I'm going to do with it. So let me go in there and get us some epoxy mixed up, and I'll be back when that's done. There's not much need to do to show you that. It's basically a 50-50 mix by volume. And all that is pouring them together and stirring them until they're ready and bringing it in here. So there's not much need showing that. I'll catch you later. All right, I got it pretty well mixed up. This is self-leveling and pretty much self-gassing, but you still need to pop your bubbles. And then you want to pour it sort of gentle right in the middle. Okay. Pretty obvious I'm going to need some more. So, I'm going to go do that. That first pour was 24 ounces. And it's another 24, that's about 700 milliliters, I think, give or take. But before I pour this one on, I'm going to debubblize the first one. And do that with a torch. And because I don't want them trapped below the other one, see? That's all we do right there. Get it where it lays a little bit of an angle so you can see what you're doing. Alright, that's all you do. And now we can pour our other one in. And it may. Trying to see where it's at level-wise here. I'm just going to stop it anyway. Alright, if I'm going to screw up, this is where it's going to be. There's a few bubbles in here. I always did for a while. Alright. This is the touchy part. I'm going to try to put a ring around this. Alright. Around this. And the edges. Pour a little more in here. I know it mixed way too much, but I'll put it in. Oh, didn't mean to do that. But it did. Alright, that ought to get it. That ain't what I want to do. Too much air. Damn it. I'm not sure I like it, but that's the way it is. You just can't undo them. Well, here it is the next morning. I certainly don't like it, but you know what it is what it is. There's some lessons to be learned here, though. I've done this a few times, but there's always something. I think given the weather, I think like I said yesterday, it's up in the 90s with high humidity and all that. And I did, like multiple pours. Actually, I did sort of like 3 of them. I think the first one set up a little bit before I got the second and third one on, because I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but right in this area is sort of like a little wavy. And, that could be from over torching it, to get the bubbles out, because I had something right in here, and I think I tried too hard. A little piece of trash right there. I did not expect the red to bleed that much. Sort of got my beaver covered, and I can still see it, but it's sort of covered. Now, I could take a die grinder and clean all this out and clean all this out and pour another little thin coat of clear over it, and it would be all nice and smooth. But, sometimes you just sort of got to say, well, what are you trying to accomplish? Well, I'm not trying to make something, to be sold or go, and to be displayed or anything. This is just going to be a TV tray for me. So it just really doesn't matter that much. So I'm going to leave it alone and, take the lessons I learned. I definitely, should have put a lot less red in there and further out from my logo and not even got close to that one. Or better yet, I should not even done the red. But, nobody learns from perfect. And I think I learned a couple of lessons here, and I hope I'm passing them on. I guess the first lesson is just eat your dinner in your lap. All right. Hey, I know you guys may not like this one, but it's a learning procedure. If I did it again, it'd be different. So go ahead and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. And tell your friends, and call your mom and tell her she wants to see a screwed up TV dinner tray. Tell her where to go. All right. I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.